guys, it's Chris once again, and today we're going to do a little bit of various testing, and I hopefully promise that I will be able to keep this decently short. So, as you know, I did the Vampire and the Amiga. Right now we're back to the 68,000 with the expansion systems IDE device, the GVP 4008 HC2, whatever you want to call it, SCSI controller with the 8 meg on board, has 1 mega chip RAM, the Gotek, and a Saiba compact flash to 40 pin IDE adapter, $11.99 for Micro Center. So right now it's just running in OS 3.1.4. I do have the 3.1.4 ROM installed, and I was having some crazy issues when I first bought the Vampire. There's been numerous videos on my channel about it, that I have these funky like read and writing errors. So I could be writing like a, oh my god, fix yourself. I could be writing like a small file, and I'll use Opus, or for example we'll use Directory Works, because that's like my go-to. And the Kipper board for the Vampire, but which is not in right now because I wanted to verify I'm not nuts. So it's running at 42-ish megahertz, and I would have an issue where I would take the C drive and copy it to RAM, and you can see the little drive as a flickering. Also, the drive light is hooked up to the expansion systems IDE card. This is set as master. It's Transcend, or I'm sorry, it's a SanDisk Ultra 30 meg per second, 4 gigabyte card, which was partitioned on Winuae on Windows 10 using the disk part clean and then adding it as a RDB directly through emulation. I've tried Fast File System, I've tried SFS, I have tried P3FS, and had all these crazy problems. Well, it's kind of working right now, I guess. So I want this test transfer. Let's just delete this one. Yep. So this, I will get info on this when it's done doing the delete. And I'll tell you what, it's about 6.7 megs. So we're going to copy this to the hard drive, and what I would get is a random file would make the hard drive light here literally stand still and wouldn't flicker, and it would eventually fill up the entire drive, blowing out the RDB table and causing a file system error. And this could be random on any file. I noticed it the most in the C drive. So I said, okay, I'm going to, I'm having problems with, apparently I thought, this board, and I'm going to contact Amiga on the Lake, and they actually sell a Vampire 44 pin IDE controller. Now let's see if I can pan off here so we can get some focus. Right here, it says for the Vampire V2 500 V2 for use with the Vampire 500. Now, I've seen people run Vampires in a Amiga 1000, and they work fine. So I was going through the various this thing, and then they're like, well, you need a SanDisk Extreme 32 gig card. I'm like this one? This is a 120 meg per second UDMA7. So that would just, you know, fit in here like so, and this had Coffin R54 on it, and this would click directly into the 44 pin on the Vampire. Same thing, I had these crazy errors. I'm like, okay, something is very strange. So I recapped the entire board. Same thing. So as you can tell here, it seems to be working. Now, what happened is I'll go in, let's go into this C drive, and I'll just delete a bunch of stuff. Let's just delete these. We're going to go into DH0, I'll flip it back, so DH0, C drive, Now this is the other partition. I'm going to select just some random stuff and hit copy. And it would just stop on one. Bloop! And just continue to write over and over and over and over again until the hard drive filled up. Just like it's doing right now. See? Now watch. Look at the hard drive light. It's just freaking out. Now this is going to screw up my whole hard drive. So that brought me to my next thing. Killing this. 0x1FE00. So here we go. We have a bad header type. I can just hit cancel. And then it should give me an Intuition retry screen in a second. If it doesn't, just fix the resolution. Alright. So we are going to check DH0. 533 meg in use. Now remember, we were copying to DH1. So DH1 is 100% full, 0 bytes free, 1.9 gig in use. So DH0 is 1.3, 533, so it's almost 2 on this one. So we're going to go into Amiga Tools, and just for fun, I'm going to copy it to RAM because it runs faster. I do have this on DH0. I could have copied it from it. So while we're waiting on that, the reason why I'm doing this is to figure out the combination of which compact flash device with which controller works on my system. The analyst, and we're gonna just auto repair, analyze, yes, just let it rip. It'll sit here for a minute. So my idea was I want to figure out which CF card, which reader has the best performance. So first up was the 32 gig Extreme 120 meg UDMA 7 compact flash card from SanDisk. This was mated to the Vampire 44-pin direct attach board. Same issue. All other cards were removed during this testing except for the Vampire. Now I'm back to original Amiga with the original card, original processor, so I can get this ironed out the first time. The second attempt was a Saiba clone. They're all the same looking chips. Saiba clone back plate reader, so I could mount this in the Amiga and swap cards on the rear like I did so I could put the cover on eventually. And if I wanted to switch between Coffin or my Amiga OS, I could do that. Same thing. So I'm like, okay, so two cards, very similar, and we're having the same problem. So then I bought, yeah, we're going here, another one, just to see, because I'm, you know, dumb. So that's 3. So 1. So then we had the Vampire board here, the rear one, and then we had the Vampire. And then, let's see, what else did I buy? I bought a 44-pin to 40 so I could try the CD-ROM function of just daisy chaining it, because this only had a 40, or no, it wasn't the one. Hold on. I was ahead of myself. So then I bought another one, right? So now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So 5. Then I'm like, well, I want to try another one. So we're at 6. Now I could use these for my PCs. I'm not worried about it. So we're at 6. And then I'm like, you know what? I've always had really good luck with the company, StarTech.com. I wonder if they sell a 44-pin and a 40. Well, here we go. This is a 44-pin. You saw this in a previous video. And a 40. So it has both the pass-through and StarTech.com. And there's the box and 44-pin cable that attaches directly to the Vampire. And I was running with that one. Connect a compact flash card to a 40 or 44 pin. So I'm like, alright. Then that's where I stopped with the compact flash. People were telling me you need a SanDisk Extreme. Well, here's, take this one out. Here's a SanDisk Extreme 32. Here's one, and here's one, right? SanDisk Extreme 32. Let's going to scroll over here. Commodore keychain. 44 pin. So then I was told you should try a Transcend. Transcend 4 gig. Alright, we're going to put that right here. You know what? I should just place these on here. So that's the, and then I had a SanDisk Ultra in the Amiga right now. It's 7% repairing. Then what else did I run? Oh yeah. So then I got a micro, a compact flash to the little tiny micro SD, and this one is a 16 gig. And I thought this was going to work great because I didn't have any errors for a couple days. And then I got different memory cards. I got a 32 and a 16 SanDisk Ultra Plus. You noticing a pattern here? Not that I buy too much crap, that I'm sticking with SanDisk. Then I haven't even opened yet, a SanDisk 32 SD. So why am I going SD? Because I have all these micro SD cards. Oh, wait a minute. Here was a PNY 64 gig. It was my original one I had in the Vampire's Sega SD device. So then everybody's like, well, you need to go with a compact flash to SD. So I got a compact flash to SD, and the card just goes right in. So then I got a SanDisk Ultra 2, 15 meg per second. This is an 8 gig card out of my old SD camera. And I formatted that one, and same thing. So then I bought 32 gig Ultra UHS1, which is 80 meg per second. Same thing. Then I bought a SanDisk 16, haven't opened it yet. This is a UDMA 1, or Ultra 1, I'm sorry, 80 megs per second. Then I bought a 16 gig 85 PNY, actually I bought 2 of those. And then I bought 32 gig Ultra Plus 80 meg. And then I'm thinking, you know, something's really wrong here. Maybe the adapter and the flash cards are the issue because of the controller on. So then I spent big bucks for a 1000X 32 gig Lexar. Why? Because I watched a guy doing a Vampire demo, and this is the card he had. But he had it attached to another board. This is an SD board. There's a 1 gig card in here that I just bought. Oh, and I got a 2 gig card too. So 1 and a 2, old school, right? No partitioning issues. I'm not worried about the larger hard drives. So this, I don't know what brand this is. 40 pin Molex or floppy power, which I'm going to use the Molex, so I don't have to. And I have mounting holes. Direct SD. So this is what we're going to try. So I am actually going to use a 1 gig card, and I'm going to use my Winuae setup for 1 card. Now this is, let me get all this crap out of the way. So let's actually set it up, minus my messy desktop, for the device. So what you're going to do is this part, and then we're going to do, if you can see this, list disk, and I know it is the 1 gig card right here. So I'm going to say select disk 3, and why is my resolution all crummy? And I'm just going to type clean. That makes the card pretty much nothing. Now I'm going to fire up, that's Amiga Forever. I'm going to fire up Winuae. I have a configuration here. Now, let me turn this light off. How's that? Is that a little better? Alright, so you can see I have my DH0 working system there, just pre-configured files. So I'm going to go to hard drives, and I'm going to add a hard drive. I'm going to pull this down to my unknown media, and before I click OK, right here, there's a set of numbers, 7785463. Now, what you can do is you can use the snipping tool and take a snapshot of that. So I used to take a snipping tool, and I just drag that and then just slide it out of the way. Why? I'm going to add the hard drive, fine, and then I'm going to hit start. Now the Amiga, virtualized Amiga, is going to boot. I have the photo of what I had right here, and I'll show you why in a second. The Amiga likes to use its own values, and sometimes those values are wrong. So we're going to go into System here, and we're going to go into Tools, and then we're going to go into HD Toolbox, which is pre-set up with the SCSI_device_name as the UAE-HF.device, so it can run this. Now when I click Install OK, this is where those numbers are going to come in. So this is saying it is 950 megs, it has 1916, 4, and 256, right? So it's saying there's 256 blocks per track, 4 heads, and 1,916 cylinders. Well, that's not what Winuae just told us. It said that I have 7,785. Now watch the values. It still says 958. So we're going to take this and we're going to type in 7785, enter, and then it is 4, enter, and then it is 63, enter, 957.9, right? And then park the head at 7785, enter, alright? And then we're going to say install. Are you sure? Yes. Alright, now we're going to partition the drive, and if you want, I could do DHO, DH1, I don't care, but I want one partition, so we're just going to make one big 950 meg partition, DH0. It is bootable. We are going to leave it on fast file system. Total cylinders 7785. This has 84 for the end cylinder, start cylinder 2. Total cylinders 7783. Good enough. Save. Are you sure? Yes. Exit. Reboot it. Now the virtual machine is going to reboot. I don't need this photo anymore, so we could not save that. That gets us into the Amiga with the drive that will pop up as unformatted right here. So we can use standard HD Toolbox, and we're going to call this Control X, DH0. We're not going to put a trash can. We are going to run FFS and international mode for long file name support, but not directory cache. And we're going to initialize quick format, I'm sorry. Here we go. We're going to format. There it is. Nice, simple icon, 957 megs free. Now, I'm going to use my directory works. Go. So we're going to go to System right here, which is the bootable drive, and I believe, oh no, it's in Work. I'm sorry. Work. Here's a backup of my hard drive, DH0, and I'm just going to select everything here, and I'm going to go to the new formatted card. Screen. Okay, so this is a window now. Because here's a weird issue I have on the Amiga. Right here it'll say like a negative value. I don't even know if you can see that. So we're going to select all of this, everything, and we are going to copy it to DH0. And if you peek over to the front here, you can see the light is blinking on the 1 gig card here. Yes, I have covers off of everything. And this is not the fastest copy to a card, but it is now RDB and good to go. We're still waiting on the validation for DH1. It's 36%, and hopefully I'll have enough memory left, 5 megs of RAM left. So we're getting there. The screen doesn't support the resolution I am, but it's working, so 36%. So I'm going to pause, get back to this completed copy where we can stop the virtualized Amiga and put the new SD card in. Still watching that. Still repairing that. Well, there we go. Okay, so this is finished. We're still waiting on Amiga. So we're gonna close directory works. Double check DH0. There's all my stuff. This is, as you remember, if you've ever owned one, the loudest drive I have ever used. So we're going to take this and we're going to put this right here. I will repair this later. So we're going to take this drive and we're going to hook it up with this. Wonderful. Well, that sucks. DFO. Sounds good to me. It's like it's not even seeing this card. Maybe I should do the 4-pin power. But let's see if it detects it on the GoTech here. Data flyer. This is the little utility for the data flyer card. Looks all Workbench 1.3-ish. So wow, we're just zoom in on the Amiga. So it sees it as Santai Synteki High Spe 1.2. We're going to click install. We're going to say no. Look, it sees it already. Oops. It already sees it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do RDB on it. DH0. Fast file system. Boot priority to buffer. I want to put 150 for buffer. And max transfer. Oh, God. It's on FE. 0, 0. Yep, doesn't like it. So we're just going to say install, continue. We're going to do RDB only. Okay, installation complete. Little mechanic guy says good. So now we're going to triple finger, pull this out. I'm going to leave the modules disk in. I just really enjoy the 1010. It's a big old drive, it's gear driven. Not a DOS disk in DH0. Piss balls. Well, I don't care. Do 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 do. Oh my God. Okay, so we're gonna reboot off of install 3.1.4 because as you saw I have the ROM in here. Beep boop. I love the sound of the 1010. So we're GoTeching. I'm gonna split this up into 2 videos. I feel like these are too damn long. If this works, I'm gonna 3D print a damn backplane for this so I can have ejection tools. Oh, wait a minute. I don't need to do that. Okay, so here's my crazy DH0. So we're gonna format the disk. Whoa. I guess I didn't get it in time. Yeah, get out of there. Okay. So we're gonna call this DH0. No friggin' trash can. FFS. We're gonna do long file names because this is 314. Quick format. Go for it. Yep. Formatting. Okay, there we go. We're gonna do install. 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 So I got Disk Master 2, which I'm going to copy to Tools, just so I have it on the hard drive. This is also a bootable disk if you ever needed a file manager. So we're going to run Disk Master 2.1, and we're gonna do whatever, I don't know. So we'll go into DH0. I'll make a new directory. Make directory. We're going to call it test copy, all in caps. So test copy, I'm going to take DH0. I'm going to take this C drive and I'm going to go into it. And we're going to select all, source, destination, and we're going to hit copy. We're just going to watch what it does and see if it screws up. This is an SD card. Look at that, no problem. Now over here I'm going to select all and test copy, and we're going to delete that. And now we're going to go over here, we're going to select all, we're going to copy again. I'm just repeating this process several times. So did that fix it? I have no idea. Guess the only way to find out would be to toss the vampire in it and see how it runs. Now this is not fast by any means, and I don't really want it to be deathly fast. I'm totally fine with a slower IDE based hard drive. That is totally fine by me. Let's run that again. So we're going to go into DF2. I don't know. Oh, I gotta click here. DF2. That is the 1010. And we're going to go to the C drive over here. I'm just going to copy a couple things. Whoops. Do it. From floppy disk to the C drive. Looks like it's working. I don't know. Every time I say that, something happens and it screws up. Here's my official copy of Magic Workbench. The one I actually paid for. Reboot. Did we already screw up? No. 2018 Hyperion Entertainment CVBA. Okay, great. So there's Magic Workbench. It looks a hell of a lot better. One thing I like about... You can't see that very well. One thing I do like about Magic Workbench is the clarity of the icons over new icons. And on 314, you have a workbench preference. So I can take the borders off. So I want quality to be best, and I want no border, right? I want Magic Workbench colors, and when I say, you can say no volume gauge. I don't want the volume gauge, and save. So now I have no icon borders. Alright, so that is 314 installed, running. Doesn't seem to have any errors. Let's do another copy here. Hard drive says it has the correct sizing. Down here it doesn't. You see how it doesn't show like a weird size? It always had a weird size. Like a negative 44482. That's why I bought a small card. I don't know. Even when I partitioned it weird, I don't know. So we're going to just recopy crap. I'm going to recopy just everything. I just want to see where it screws up. Whoop, can't copy that. Alright, let's just do it. Copy. Just want to see if it shows it filling up. Hard drive light is blinking away as normal. We're filling up 8.3 megs. Now it doesn't really have a lot of space. It's just a blank install. There's nothing major. So I wanted to slide this out of the way so I could see what it was doing. Disk master is dynamic. It updates as it copies. I just want to see if we get any lockups. Like you get the old dreaded busy cursor. You can't get out of it. So it is by no means fast. I just copied the whole entire 314 install. No errors, no problem. Well, that's it for this round.